The night was quiet, but Jennifer's heart was loud. She ran through the dark forest, barefoot and shaking. Her dress was torn, and her breath came out in gasps. Behind her, she could hear voices shouting, calling her name. "Don't let her escape," one voice screamed. Tears filled her eyes as she ran faster. The moonlight showed her the path, but her legs were weak. Every sound, every rustle in the bushes, made her heart jump. She didn't know where she was. She didn't know if the other girls were alive. All she knew was that she had to get away. She tripped and fell into the mud. Her knees hurt, but she stood up again. "God, please help me," she whispered. And then, bright lights. A car stopped by the roadside. A man came out, shocked to see a young woman running like she had seen a ghost. That night would change Jennifer's life forever. But how did Jennifer, the most beautiful girl in Ogwema, end up running for her life in the middle of the night? Let me take you back to the beginning. But before then, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more powerful African folktales that teach, inspire, and remind us that wisdom still lives in our stories. Jennifer was born in the small village of Ogwema. From the day she came into the world, people said she was special. Her skin was smooth like fresh palm oil, and her eyes shone like stars at night. As she grew, her beauty grew too. When she smiled, even old men forgot their worries. When she walked through the market, everyone turned to look at her. But Jennifer was not just beautiful, she was also brilliant. In school, she always came first. Teachers loved her for her intelligence and good manners. Other girls wanted to be like her. People in the village began to say, "This girl will marry a prince one day." Jennifer's parents were proud of her. Her mother would tell visitors, "Our daughter is blessed. She will bring us honor." By the time Jennifer entered secondary school, she already had many suitors, young men who wanted to marry her, even though she was still very young. Some were students, some were traders, and a few were from rich families in nearby towns. Jennifer laughed at them all. She would say, "I am not ready for marriage. And even when I am ready, I will only marry the perfect man." Her best friend, Ngozi, agreed with her. "Jennifer, you are right," Ngozi would say. "You deserve only the best, someone tall, rich, handsome, and kind." And Jennifer believed it. She started to see herself as better than everyone else. Soon, she began to speak rudely to her classmates. When elders greeted her, she barely answered. She stopped helping her mother at home and started spending hours in front of the mirror. Her father warned her, "My daughter, pride goes before a fall." But Jennifer only smiled and said, "Papa, don't worry. I know what I'm doing." The villagers noticed the change too. Some whispered, "Beauty has entered her head." Others said, "Let her be. Life will teach her." They didn't know that lesson was already on its way. One sunny afternoon, Jennifer and her best friend Ngozi were walking home from school. As they passed the junction, a shiny black car stopped beside them. A tall young man stepped out. He wore dark glasses and a fine suit. His shoes shone like new coins. "Hello, beautiful ladies," he said with a smile. His voice was soft, his words smooth. Ngozi giggled. Jennifer stood still, pretending not to be impressed. The man introduced himself. "My name is Daniel. I just returned from the United Kingdom. I came to visit my uncle here in Ogwema." Jennifer's eyes widened. A man from the UK. That sounded like a dream. Daniel looked at her and said, "You must be Jennifer. I've heard about your beauty and your brilliance. You are even more beautiful in person." Those words made Jennifer's heart dance. From that day, Daniel began to visit her often. He brought gifts, perfumes, dresses, handbags, and fine shoes. He took her out to eat at nice places in town. The whole village began to talk. "Jennifer has found her match," they said. "Finally, the beautiful flower has found her bee." Jennifer's parents were happy at first. But her father grew worried. "My daughter," he said one evening, "you hardly know this man. You should take your time." Jennifer laughed. "Papa, Daniel is different. He is rich, handsome, and kind. He is everything I ever wanted. Her friend Ngozi added, Jennifer, you are lucky. Many girls wish for a man like him. And so, Jennifer's heart was full. She believed Daniel was the perfect man she had been waiting for. She stopped caring about school. She stopped helping at home. Every day, she thought only about Daniel, his gifts, his car, his smile. She didn't know she was walking straight into the trap that would change her life forever. One afternoon, Jennifer was sitting under the mango tree near her house when Daniel's car stopped in front of the gate. He stepped out, smiling as always. Jennifer, he said softly, I have something special for you. Jennifer's eyes lit up. Another gift, she asked playfully. Daniel laughed. Even better. I want you to come with me to a housewarming party tonight. It's my friend's new house. There will be music, food, and many important people. Jennifer clapped her hands in joy. Wow. A party. I can't wait. Her mother overheard and came out of the house. A party. At night. Jennifer, you should be careful. But Jennifer waved her hand. Mama, don't worry. Daniel is a good man. He takes care of me. Ngozi, who was sitting beside her, smiled. You are lucky, Jennifer. Enjoy yourself. Some of us can only dream of a man like Daniel. That evening, Jennifer dressed up in her finest gown. She looked at herself in the mirror and smiled. Even the stars will envy me tonight, she whispered. Daniel arrived and opened the car door for her. You look beautiful, he said. They drove out of the village into a quiet part of town she had never seen before. After a long drive, they stopped in front of a big mansion with bright lights and loud music. Jennifer's mouth opened in surprise. Daniel, this house is so beautiful. Inside, the place was full of laughter. There were 5 men and 5 other young women, all dressed nicely. Food and drinks filled the tables, and the music was loud. Jennifer was happy. She danced, laughed, and forgot her mother's warning. But as the night grew darker, something began to feel strange. The men whispered to each other and kept going upstairs, one after another. Jennifer didn't think much of it until she decided to find the restroom. As she walked down a quiet hallway, she saw a half-open door upstairs. Curious, she went closer, and what she saw froze her blood. Daniel and the other men were standing around a strange wooden table covered with red cloth. There were candles burning, and on the table lay pictures of young girls, some of the same girls from the party. Jennifer's heart started to beat fast. She quickly turned and ran back downstairs. Jennifer ran down the stairs, her heart beating like a drum. She found the other girls sitting together, laughing and dancing. Listen to me, she whispered, shaking. We must leave this place now. The girls looked at her in surprise. Why? One of them asked. Jennifer's eyes were wide with fear. Daniel and his friends are not who they say they are. I saw something upstairs, something bad. The girls stood up quickly. One said, let's go now before they come back. They moved toward the gate, but when they tried to open it, it wouldn't move. It was locked from the outside. Panic filled the room. What do we do now? Another girl cried. Jennifer looked around and pointed. Maybe there's another way out, through the back. They ran through the kitchen and into the backyard. There, behind the wall, they saw an old ladder lying on the ground. Thank God, Jennifer said. We can use this to climb over the fence. But fear made everyone restless. Each girl wanted to climb first. They began to push and shout. Let me go first. No, I saw it first. Stop pushing me. Their voices grew louder, and that noise brought the men running. Where are they? Daniel shouted from inside the house. Jennifer's heart pounded. She grabbed the ladder and started to climb as fast as she could. The other girls screamed and tried to follow, but before they could reach the top, the men appeared. One of them kicked the ladder. It shook. The girl screamed as the ladder fell back against the wall. Jennifer was already near the top. With all her strength, she jumped over the wall and landed on the other side. Pain shot through her leg, but she got up and ran faster than she ever had in her life. Behind her, she could hear the cries of the other girls. She wanted to help, but she couldn't. If she stopped, she would die too. So she kept running into the darkness, barefoot, shaking, and crying. Jennifer ran and ran until her legs felt heavy. Her feet were bleeding, her dress was torn, and her hair was covered with leaves and dust. She didn't know where she was going. The road was dark, and the only light came from the moon. Sometimes, she heard cars passing far away, but she was too afraid to wave for help. What if they are with Daniel, she thought. Her breath came out in short gasps. Her throat was dry. Her body was weak. Finally, she reached a small road that led into town. She saw a car coming and, with the last strength in her body, she stepped out and waved. The car stopped suddenly. A man came out, shocked to see her. "My goodness. Are you okay?" he asked. Jennifer tried to speak, but no sound came out. Her lips moved, but her voice was gone. Tears rolled down her face. The man looked at her and saw the fear in her eyes. "Don't worry," he said gently. "You are safe now." He opened the car door and helped her inside. He drove straight to the nearest police station. When the police saw her, they asked questions, but Jennifer couldn't answer. She only cried and shook her head. They called her parents that same night. When her father and mother arrived, they could not believe what they saw. Their once beautiful daughter was weak, dirty, and silent. Her eyes looked empty, and she could not speak a single word. Her mother held her tight, crying loudly. "Oh, my child. What happened to you?" But Jennifer said nothing. She only sat still, her eyes filled with tears. Days passed, then weeks. Jennifer's voice never came back. Soon after, her sight began to fade. Doctors could not explain it. Native healers tried, but nothing worked. The girl who was once the pride of the village could no longer see the sunlight or speak her pain. Months passed, and Jennifer's life was never the same again. She stayed mostly indoors, sitting quietly near the window. She could no longer see, and her voice was gone. Her parents tried everything. They took her to hospitals, to churches, and even to native doctors. Some said it was a curse. Others said it was a punishment. Her father grew thin from worry. Her mother cried every night. Ngozi, her best friend, came to visit sometimes, but even she didn't know what to say. The house that was once full of laughter had become a place of silence. One hot afternoon, something happened. A strange man was passing through the village. He was a preacher, known for moving from place to place, praying for people in need. He walked by Jennifer's house and suddenly stopped. He felt a strong pull in his heart, as if someone was calling him inside. He turned to a young boy nearby and asked, "Who lives here?" The boy replied, "It is the house of Mr. and Mrs. Okofo. Their daughter is sick and blind." The man of God nodded and said, "I need to see her." When he entered, he saw Jennifer sitting by the window, her hands folded, her eyes closed. Her mother quickly stood up. "Man of God, please, pray for my daughter." The preacher said nothing for a moment. He just looked at Jennifer quietly. Then he said, "My child, do you believe that God can still help you?" Tears fell down Jennifer's face. For the first time in months, she slowly opened her mouth. Her voice was weak, but she whispered, "Yes." The man smiled gently. He placed his hands on her head and began to pray. At first, nothing happened. Then Jennifer began to shake. She started to cry deeply, from her heart, as if all her pain was coming out. When she stopped crying, something amazing happened. She spoke clearly for the first time. "Mama," she whispered. Her mother fell to her knees, shouting, "Praise be to God. She can speak." Everyone in the house cried with joy. But though Jennifer's voice had returned, her beauty did not. Her eyes remained blind, and her once glowing face had changed. Yet deep inside her, she felt peace for the first time. She knelt and said softly, "God, thank you for giving me a second chance." Time passed, and the story of Jennifer spread through the village and beyond. People spoke about her with sadness and surprise. Some said, she was the most beautiful girl we ever saw. Others said, her pride destroyed her. Jennifer no longer went out often. She spent most of her days praying, thinking, and helping her mother with small chores she could still do. Sometimes, she sat outside and listened to the children playing. When she heard the laughter of young girls talking about beauty and rich men, she would sigh and whisper, if only they knew. Her best friend, Ngozi, later married one of the men Jennifer had once rejected. They had children, and they were happy. Jennifer was happy for them too, but each time she heard their laughter, a tear would roll down her cheek. One day, a group of young girls came to visit her. They asked softly, "Auntie Jennifer, tell us your story. Is it true what people say?" Jennifer smiled sadly. "Yes, my daughters," she said. "It is true. I was beautiful, but I was proud. I thought the world was under my feet. I insulted people and looked down on others. I wanted a perfect man, but I forgot that no one is perfect." She paused and held their hands. "Now look at me. My beauty is gone, but I have found something greater. I have found peace, and I have learned that pride is a poison that destroys slowly." The girls nodded, listening closely. Jennifer continued, "Remember this, beauty fades like the morning dew. But a good heart shines forever. If you find someone who loves you and respects you, do not throw them away. And never think you are better than anyone else." The girls thanked her and left quietly, their hearts full of thought. That night, Jennifer sat by the window, feeling the cool breeze on her face. She smiled and whispered, "Thank you, Lord, for saving me. Even in my blindness, I can now see the truth." From that day on, her story was told in every home, in every gathering. Parents would say to their daughters, "Remember Jennifer, the girl who was too beautiful, but forgot to be humble." And the people of Oguma learned that beauty may open eyes, but only character can open hearts. Pride destroys faster than age. True beauty is not in the face but in the heart. There is no perfect person, only those who are willing to love truthfully, and that, my dear friends, is the story of Jennifer, the girl who was too beautiful, but forgot the beauty of the heart. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to show some love. Click the like button so more people can learn from Jennifer's journey. Share your thoughts in the comment section. What lesson did you learn today? And most of all, subscribe to this channel for more powerful African folktales that teach, inspire, and remind us that wisdom still lives in our stories. Until next time, my friends. Stay humble, stay kind, and remember, true beauty shines from within. Bye.